Section 33 of The Toilers of the Sea by Victor Hugo. This recording is in the public domain, read by John Greenman. Chapter 2. Clubin Perceives Someone. Zuela sometimes came to eat at the Jean Tavern. Sieur Clubin knew him by sight. Moreover, Sieur Clubin was not proud. He did not disdain to know rascals by sight. He even went so far sometimes as to know them in deed, giving them his hand in the open street, and bidding them good day. He talked English to the smuggler, and jabbered Spanish with the contrabandista. He had some sayings on this point. "One can derive good from a knowledge of evil." "It is useful for the gamekeeper to converse with the poacher." "The pilot should sound the pirate being a reef." "I taste a rascal as a physician tastes poison." There was no reply to this. Everyone acknowledged that Captain Clubin was right. He was approved for not being ridiculously dainty. Who would have dared to speak ill of him? All that he did was done "for the good of the service." Everything was quite simple coming from him. Nothing could compromise him. If crystal were to try to spot itself, it could not. This confidence was the just reward of long honesty, and therein lies the excellence of well-established reputations. Whatever Clubin did or seemed to do, no one suspected any harm on the score of virtue. He had acquired a state of impeccability. Moreover, he was very circumspect, so it was said, and from an intimacy which would have been suspicious in any other person, his probity extricated itself with additional reputation for cleverness. This reputation for cleverness combined harmoniously with his renown for simplicity, without either contradiction or trouble. Such a thing as a clever and unassuming man does exist. This is one of the varieties of the honest man, and one most appreciated. Sieur Clubin was one of the men who, when encountered in conversation with a sharper or a bandit, are accepted, understood, and respected all the more, and who possess in their favor the satisfied confidence of public esteem. The Tamaulipas had completed her lading. She was ready for sea, and would soon set sail. On Tuesday evening the Durande arrived at St. Malo when it was still broad daylight. Sieur Clubin, as he stood on the bridge and superintended the manoeuvres of making a landing, perceived near the Petit Bay, on the sandy beach between two rocks, in a very secluded spot, two men talking together. He looked at them with his marine glass and recognized one of them. It was Captain Zuela. He thought that he recognized the other also. The other was a man of lofty stature and rather gray. He wore a broad-brimmed hat and sober garments of the Friends. He was probably a Quaker. He kept his eyes modestly lowered. On arriving at the Jean Tavern, Sieur Clubin learned that the Tamaulipas intended to sail in a fortnight. It was afterwards learned that he had already made some inquiries on other points. That night he entered the shop of the gunsmith in the Rue Saint Vincent, and said to him, "Do you know what a revolver is?" "Yes," replied the gunsmith, "it is an American weapon." "It is a pistol which begins the conversation over again." "In fact, it has in itself question and reply." "And retort also." "Quite true, Monsieur Clubin, a revolving barrel." "And 5 or 6 bullets." The gunsmith opened the corner of his lips a little, and gave vent to that click of the tongue which, accompanied by a shake of the head, expresses admiration. "The weapon is good, Monsieur Clubin. I think it will make its way." "I should like a 6-chambered revolver." "I have none." "How is that, when you are a gunsmith?" "I have not the article as yet. You see, it is a novelty. It is just out. Only pistols are made in France so far." "The devil!" "It is not on sale yet." "The devil!" I have excellent pistols." "I want a revolver." "I admit that it is more advantageous. But wait a moment, Monsieur Clubin." "What?" "I think that there is one of the things in St. Malo at the present moment a second hand one." "A revolver?" "Yes." "For sale?" "Yes." "Where?" "I think I know where. I will inquire." "When can you give me an answer?" "Second hand, but good." "When shall I return?" "If I procure you a revolver it will be good." "When will you give me an answer?" "After your next trip." "Do not say that it is for me," said Clubin. Chapter 3 Clubin perceives some one.